If you'd got a complete set of telephone directories for the whole country with a list of every single phone number in Britain, guess how high the pile would be? It would be this big.
There are actually 96 telephone books in these two piles. Each pile there is nearly my height. So in 10 years' time, the post office estimate that the piles could well be 3 times as big as that. So I think directory inquiry operators might have quite a problem then. But by then, we may not have telephone books like this at all, thanks to a splendid advance made in computers. Believe it or not, in my hand here, this plastic card, small handful of plastic cards, contains all the millions of telephone numbers contained in those 96 books. Each one of these, they're called microfiche, each one of these contains no less than 175,000 different telephone numbers. Obviously, they're very small, so to see them, you don't just hold them up to the light and hope. You have to have a special viewer. And we've got one of the viewers over here in the studio today. It's been invented by a gentleman from Bishop Stortford, Mr. Frank Durden, and it can be used for just about anything. It's connected to a computer by means of this very straightforward, ordinary telephone link. Now, in front of me here, there's a typewriter keyboard. It's specially adapted to operate the computer. In front there is an electronic display. And up here is a major display screen that will show whatever information I ask the computer for. So I'm going to start using it as a telephone directory inquiry service. Say, for instance, I wish to find the number of Deben Rural District Council. It really exists. It's in a town called Woodbridge. So what I have to do, first of all, is to type in the name of the town. And that is Woodbridge, W-O-O-D-B-R-I. Now, it bleeped then to say the computer is actually telling me I know which town it is you're after because you've given me sufficient letters to identify it. So it knows it's Woodbridge. Now let's put in the name. Here it is, Deben, D-E-B-E-N, rural. It's bleeped again because it knows which page I'm after as well. And there it is. Actually, it's at the top of the page straight away. Deben Rural District Council, Council Offices, Melton Hall or Hill, Woodbridge, 3322. Clear as a bell and very quick. I'm going to reset it now because the computer is also rather clever in keeping things absolutely up to date. For instance, if I dial a town in Scotland, which is called Oban, B-A-N, O-B-A-N. Well, it knew when I got as far as O-B-A that I meant Oban. And now I'm going to type the name of some people in Oban. The name is Adams, A-D-A-M-S. It needs more information than that because obviously there's more than one Adams. Let's put the initial, W. It needs a bit more than that. Let's go on to the address. Actually, it doesn't need the address. It just needed the pause after the W. And now it's presented the page which includes the Adams W's. And there's the one I wanted. Adams W, Westmount, Oban, 2884. But that number is incorrect. But instead of changing the microfiche, the display down here, the electronic display, actually shows that Adams W, Westmount, Oban, they haven't moved, but there is the new telephone number. Apparently the exchange has changed, and there it is, 642-884. So it keeps you absolutely up to date, far more up to date than the ordinary telephone book or even the microfiche. Now, the computer, as I say, can be used for just about anything. I've just told it I've finished with the last program, and it's now putting some information down there on the electronic display for me. I'm waiting for one particular word to come up. There it is, SEQ with an arrow after that means that I can now give it the information that I want to put in. I'm going to type in the word key, and I'm also going to ask for some more information. I hope all that will clear. Yes, it does. And now, in a moment, I'll get the word option up there, which gives me the option to carry on with the program that I'm selecting. What I'm going to do is to ask the computer, there's the word, option, I'm going to ask the computer to find for me, on a map, because I'm going to ask it to be an atlas, the place where the machine was invented. Now, the place was actually called Writtle, so it's asking for my query. The query is, where is Writtle? I'll type in the name, W-R-I-T-T-L-E. It's a small village, this. I'm going to ask the computer now to search for it. And here comes a map. Well, it's told me straight away that Writtle is somewhere in Britain, because I've got a map of England, Wales and Scotland there. So now, down here on the electronic display, you'll see it says 6 matching entries. That means I can get closer to where I want 6 times. So let's try the first and see what that is. Well, it's given me a map now of southeast England, or part of it. There's London, here's the North Kent coast, and there's the South Essex coast. But I don't see Writtle on there. Let's try again. hasn't accepted that one, so I'll press it again. There it is. And it's given me a map of the Chelmsford district of Essex. And on the edge of the map here, I can see the name, Writtle. But I haven't got a map of it. Waiting for it to come up for my option to continue. I wish to continue. Here goes. And there's a much closer map showing the 3 main roads that pass through Writtle. In fact, they're only small roads. This is a very small-scale map we've got down to there. I'm going to go again and see what else I get. And there it is, a map of Writtle village itself. It's rather close. You can see lots of trees. You can see the size of various gardens. All the roads, they're quite large in there. And in fact, there is still one more selection to make. And there it is. It's virtually a picture of the high street of Writtle. And the most interesting part for me is up here, in this top corner, you see a little block that says Works. Well, those works are where the machine was actually invented. That's the factory where this was invented. And we've got right down to that with the computer's aid itself. As I said, it can do all sorts of other things as well. At that factory, there's a gentleman called Mr. Byatt, and he has 4 patents that he's taken out on various inventions of his. I'm going to ask the machine to find those for me as well. So if I type in the gentleman's name, there it is, and press the search button, with a bit of luck, there it is, the first of his patent specifications. And looking down here on the electronic display again, it says there are 4 matching entries. That means he's got 4 more patents, or rather 3 more. So let's try to get another one. There it is. And you don't only have to look at the front page of it, which that is. I'm going to press a different key here. It'll turn the page. That's the second page of that particular patent. Press it again. There's the third and last page of the patent. And over the page from that, the drawing of the invention. An absolutely complete view of Mr. Byatt's patent, literally at my fingertips. As I said, the computer can do just about anything. But there's one last example. The British Museum has an amazingly large book library. It needs space to store all those books. With this computer and with these microfiche, all the information and all the pages of every book that it has could be printed up and stored away in a moderately small cupboard, instead of all the vast space that is needed. And if eventually these machines become cheap enough for people to have them in their own homes, just by dialing a telephone number to the British Museum, you could get for yourself any book to read at home, just at your fingertips.